Hello, everyone. Welcome to TI Speaker Series. I'm super excited today. We have another great guest with us. She's a longtime friend, and you know what? I'm gonna just dive right into it and let her introduce herself to us. Jalisa, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I just it has been so long since we've spoken. We say
Absolutely.
throughout the years, but we're here today. My name is Jalisa Hardy. I am a author, as you can see behind me. I am a board certified holistic health practitioner, a speaker, and a coach. Throughout the years, I've done many different types of coaching, many different types of businesses, but more recently, I became a single mom, and God just directed me to support single moms and help them to build their community and rebuild their lives after certain changes and certain circumstances have come about in their life. So that's what I'm doing, building a community for single moms so that they can have the support that they need to up level their lives spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. So that's what I'm doing now.
Awesome. Wow, that is amazing. I couldn't have said it better. That's why I always have to give my audience the opportunity to introduce themselves. So, Jalisa, I'm going to be asking you like just one question just to break the ice, right? I know you're an author. Do you prefer literally listening to audio? It's a yes or no question, and just explain why. Do you prefer reading a book, like a hard copy, or audiobook, and why?
Yeah, an audiobook. I think honestly, it really depends on what I'm reading, but more so now that I have kids, an audiobook because I can just pop it on and, continue to go throughout the day and be able to multitask while I'm feeding, nourishing my mind. So that's pretty much why I love audiobooks.
Awesome. So now you can all get Jaleesa's book on the audiobook form and just listen to while you're driving. Because trust me, like you were being realistic on that because somebody would be like, she has a book. She probably gonna say a hard copy. But you were being honest about that. Like, in today's society, we want to keep it going like really quick and fast. Now let's get into uh the college experience. You and I we went to the same college. We probably took some courses together. So tell us about your college experience and your college journey as well.
So I actually went off to college a year early. I had originally planned to take a gap year and go travel abroad, but I wasn't able to raise the money to do that. So I ended up doing a tour at Coppin State University in Baltimore. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, so I didn't know much about the Baltimore area. So when we went, my aunt took me to a tour, and I just like fell in love with the campus, fell in love with the people, and it actually accepted me on the spot because I had graduated from high school a year early and I had decent SAT scores. So they accepted me on the spot, and I hadn't even put any applications into any other school. So because, like I said, I had planned to go abroad. Um, so it was just like, you know what, this is it. And being accepted, getting the scholarship that I got from the honors program, it was like everything I could even dream of.
That's awesome. So what were you studying at Coppin State University?
I was studying chemistry and biology. I was on the way to become a pharmacist at the time.
And now life kind of just went into a different direction. But nevertheless, education is important, right?
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't have the network that I have because I did join my first sorority there. I wouldn't have had the experience that I had I not gone to college on campus. A lot of the leadership skills that I attained, I learned, attained in college on campus. A lot of things that I would have probably would have learned in other spaces I learned at Coppin State University. So I definitely am grateful for the opportunity. Not so much the student loan debt, but
We talk about that.
but the experiences, the opportunities, how I grew and learned, the people that I met, I wouldn't change it for the world.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And that's what I always like about college, because you come in contact with so many people, and that's how we build a long-term relationship. So it's very important for us to like build that connection and connectivity together. But let me go back a little bit, and how you talked about visiting on campus. Oftentimes most students kind of don't really take the time to visit on campus because I didn't even visit on campus, right? I just dive in there, I got accepted. My first choice was not aid. I was like, I can't afford this tuition. So when Coppin accepted me, I'm like, we going to Baltimore. So do you recommend students to really visit campus and get a feel of it? Because that gives you a little bit of a different perspective, right? To really make your decision on that. So what would you say about that?
Absolutely. It really depends on what you're looking for because I didn't have that college experience, and I knew my learning style. I knew that I wanted a smaller campus versus a larger campus where it's more of the larger classes and all of that. So just the family feel that Coppin had, you get a real understanding of the vibe of a school when you go to visit versus just looking at pamphlets or hearing other people talk about it. You really get to see how your personality fits in with that school. So I would definitely say to go visit, even, being able to connect with other students, being able to connect with other faculty, it really helps when you get that experience of going on campus. I would definitely say go to visit the campus so you can see how it feels.
Don't do what I did. Don't take my advice. Definitely listen to Jalisa. I'm terrible at these things, right? So she has a much better experience on that when going on campus and visit. I like have family sometimes take a ride. I go if you want to go to California, just take a ride with your family and go visit and take a tour and experience. Some colleges even let you stay on campus and take a few
Mm-hmm.
classes to get the whole experience before you even get say, oh yes, this is the university that I actually want to attend. Now let's come back to sorority and your sisterhood. How did that all get started? Tell me about it.
So I had originally looked at one of the Divine Nine sororities to join, but it was just the way that I saw things on campus. It just was like, that's not for me. That's not for me. So throughout the years, I built relationships going. So I'm in a Christian sorority. So going to different events, and that was how I kind of got the feel for the different sororities, attending the events, meeting the sorority sisters, going to meeting the faculty advisors for the sororities. That helped me to see like, oh, these are the types of women that I could see me joining their organization versus just saying, oh, like their colors. Like it's so much deeper than that. So that was how I, made my decision to decide, okay, this was the sorority that I'm going to choose. Because again, I'm all for building relationships. I'm all for making those connections. And it's not just about, just having the letters. It was really about having those relationships on campus because I was already, a believer so that they can hold me accountable for my lifestyle on campus.
I was gonna say, those sisters actually set a standard for you. Actually, are people that you can reach out to and speak to, guide you in the right direction. Because when you're in college, there's a whole lot of things going on around you, and you need to stay focused. So having those mentors in your life makes a difference. I like the fact that you're like it's a Christian sorority. As young as we coming out, you want to make sure that navigating yourself or being around or surrounding yourself around with people that will literally shape your life for the betterment. It's not just kind of, hey, I'm doing this sorority. We're going to the party. Let's do this. No, we don't want that. And that's the issue with college. It's about either the drugs, the alcohol, the sex. I mean, I saw a whole lot. I'm not sure if you live on campus. I saw a whole lot of
I
things.
did.
So if you didn't live on campus, share your exact campus experience, like living in the dormitory and all of that. Share that.
So that was a whole new world for me because I grew up, I wasn't too sheltered, but I was sheltered. So like going to parties and doing all of that stuff, I didn't really do much of that. But on campus, it was just like anything goes. Like, it was a shock for me to see, some of the things that went on. Like you said, the drinking, the smoking, the parties, the all nighters. Like that for me, it was like, wow, this is
Is this what
what
I'm
life
paying for?
is.
Like, is this
And
what I'm
like,
paying for? And the student loan.
yeah, but in the beginning, it was like, you know, being young, like I said, I went off to college a year early, so I was younger than everybody. So if you're not strong in your beliefs and strong in your connections with the right people, you can easily be swayed to do things that go against your better judgment or go against your beliefs or go against what's best for you. So for me, that was another reason why I joined the sorority that I joined, because I did stray away from things that were more positive for my life and for, moving forward in my college career.
That's good. Oh my God. College, man. I'm glad you tackled that because it is a whole. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, is that what you guys are paying tuition for? I like the fact that, you talked about how copying is such a smaller environment, so you get that one-on-one relationship with your professors and your teammates. Even when you go to the library to study, it's a smaller size.
Mhm.
You don't have much distraction. But I mean, you almost in downtown Baltimore, so there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And then you got like housing next to you. You got Morgan. I mean, it's you got Hopkins on the other side. So yeah, crazy things happening around there. But now let's talk about college tuition. And how did you navigate with scholarship opportunities, loans? I know you talk about loans. I always advocate for students not to take loan. For personally, I was able to get out of copying with tuition like debt free, literally, because I was thank you. I try. So I always want to advocate for students to go to school free. And that's why I'm also telling our speakers, like any tips that you can encourage our students or anybody that is listening out there, how they can actually do this. There's so many resources out there that sometimes we don't know. Maybe you didn't know because you came so young and, you just didn't know who to speak to for all these opportunities that were on campus. So can you shed light on that, like in terms of like grants and all of that? Now that you would probably towards your end of the year, it's like, man, I wish I knew this. I wish I'd have done that when I was there. So share that with us.
Yeah, definitely. If you can go to school for free without taking any student loan debt, do that. Like, I know people want you to go to these Ivy League colleges or, the big name colleges. But if you're going to go into debt for a degree that you're not even going to leave school and get a job that's going to cover that debt, the best thing for you to do is go to a local school in your state and get the grants, like she said, get the grants, get the scholarships. And then there are scholarships for that, like one of the scholarships that I did was through the alumni program for the school. They provide scholarships. So just going in and meeting people, like networking is going to be super important, because when you network and you connect with the faculty and the staff, even in your the school that you're going to be a part of, what not the school, what's the name? Not, you have a dean for your
Yeah. Yeah,
what's
I
the
get what
word?
you're saying. It's your
Yeah,
your specific program that you.
yeah, your specific program. So going to them and talking to them, like what scholarships are available, what grants are available, even in certain areas. If you're a part of a church, they have scholarships. I got scholarships through my church. Um, excuse me. But and then there are people that are out there. There's one woman called her name is Denise Duffield Thomas, and she will walk you through the whole process of going to school debt free. So networking, meeting people, doing your research to see like, okay, what is it that I can do in order to cover my costs. The honors program helped me to keep away a lot of debt. So if you're willing to do the extra work, take the extra courses, that might be a way to go to get an additional scholarship because they have partial scholarships and they have full scholarships if you're in the honors program. But there are so many different resources, so much free money out there for being black, for being left handed, for being a woman, like just doing the research and actually taking the time to apply because a lot of people aren't applying because it takes time to do. So taking the time, doing your due diligence to apply to these scholarships because there's free money out there and not just settling for, okay, I can just go and get these student loans because here I am, what, 10 years out and I still have student loan debt. So if you can prevent it going into it, definitely do that.
Yeah, and it's always just as little as just raising your hand and speaking up and say, "Hey, I'm here. I need help," and it's like a lot of money out there. I remember my dean called me and said, "Hey, young woman, we have a scholarship for you." I'm like, "Oh my God." And I had already dropped out of school. I'm like, "Can they go towards my last semester tuition?" They're like, "No, you have to pay that debt first before we can give you the scholarship." So yes, but it was as little as speaking up and raising my hand to say, "Hey, is there an opportunity, the college scholarship within the School of Business that I can get?" And I was able to get that scholarship from the School of Business. So yeah, alrighty. So now I see this book right behind us. I know Jalisa is doing so many things in the community. She's an author, she's a speaker, she's a mom, and it's all in me, my journey to freedom and living abundantly. Now tell us about this book and what made you write this book.
So it actually came from my line name of my sorority, the title of my book. So the my line name in my sorority is Dev Sister Unabridged, which when they gave me the breakdown at the end of the breakdown of what my name meant, it's all in me. And it was a reminder that I don't have to go to outside sources or outside things to be fulfilled or to be successful or to feel like I'm enough. Because a lot of things happened in my life that made me feel like I wasn't enough, that made me feel like I wasn't worthy, that made me feel like even though I was accomplishing all these things, I still had to always be doing something more in order to feel like I was enough. So coming back to myself and realizing that I have everything I need within me to succeed and be who God called me to be, like that is what I wrote about in my book because I want to remind people, even though you might go through these tragic situations or traumatic situations or lose people that you love, there are still things to live for. There are still things that you can do in life that is not only going to help you move forward, but help other people move forward. So that's what my book is about, like really sharing the harder parts of my story, but also giving them how I came out of those situations on the other side with my sanity, with my peace, and really looking forward to be able to pay it forward to someone else to say, yes, I've gone through this, but it wasn't in vain. So that was what I wrote about in my book.
You are an overcomer, okay? And that's the song. What doesn't break you, make you stronger. And I like, literally you were just speaking. I wanted you to actually emphasize, like, we speaking to the student out there, that sometimes you feel as though you are not enough, even in the relationship that you're in, the kind of circle of friends that you're in. Some people can make you feel like as though you're not good enough. What am I bringing to the table? Is this good enough? But I like how you said you are wealthy. And I always say there is greater potential within you that you can show the world. And it's all about believing in you and trusting in you and just going forward. So I'm so glad you just talked about, we don't want to spill the tea on the book because she talks about the challenges, the obstacles that she went through, and everything is in this book. So we don't want to ask her about how did you overcome the challenges. If you want to know, you got to grab this audiobook or you got to get the hard copy. So Jalisa is going to let us know where we can get the book from, and then you guys can grab a copy.
Yeah, so it's on my website, jalisahardy.com. It's also on Amazon. It's on Target.com, Walmart.com. But, we all love Amazon. You can get it there in print. Yes, get it there in print and ebook version, or like I said, from my website, jalisahardy.com. But one of the things that I wanted to mention is, a lot of times in books, so my book is a memoir and it's also a self help book, because at the end of each chapter, there are reflection questions that go along with the content. So it's not just, oh, I'm reading this chapter of the book. It's really seeing how you can apply it to your life. So that's what makes my book unique.
Awesome. Thank you for that. All right. So we are about to wrap up. And before we let Jalisa go, we just wanted to kind of give us a little bit of wisdom here to, our audience or our college students, any motivation tips that you're going to leave to them as they watch this video. Last words for them.
Yes. I think one of the things that helped me more recently is enjoying the journey. A lot of times we take things so seriously and thinking that, we have to be perfect with everything, have to do everything perfectly. But if you stop and be present and enjoy each moment, you'll be able to get so much further in life than you will by worrying about, the outcome of things. But literally just being present and enjoying the moment is going to help you get so much further, because you're going to be able to hear what you need to hear, see what you need to hear, and be where you need to be in each moment. So definitely enjoying the journey, enjoying the moment, and being present.
On that note, we are wrapping up. Enjoy the moment as you're going to college. Live your best life, but just make sure you don't party too hard. And be present. And when you say be present, make sure you going to class, y'all. Just don't be joking around. Don't be playing around. Be present in everything that you do. Thank you, Jalisa, so much for stopping by today. We appreciate you and we thank you so much for your
You're
wisdom.
welcome for having me.
Awesome.